Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us. So today we're opening up a really special kind of guidebook. Think of it as, well, a manual for investigating life's deepest, most fascinating mysteries. If you've ever felt a sudden sense of wonder about the universe or caught yourself wondering about the deeper meaning behind everyday events, guess what? You are already on the case. In this explainer, we're going to act as detectives, piecing together the clues of our own human experiences. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Right off the bat, here's the central question of our investigation. And it's one we really want to approach with just total warmth, deep curiosity, and a lot of respect. What does it actually mean to be spiritual? You know, as a spiritual detective, this is a question that comes up thousands of times. It's a profound, genuinely beautiful question, but it can also be a pretty confusing one. People use this word constantly, yet its exact meaning often feels just a little bit out of reach. So to really grasp it, we need an explanation that brings it right down to earth.
Okay, section 1, when the light goes on.
To really get a handle on this, let's look at a totally relatable, everyday analogy. Picture this. You're at a really friendly gathering, right? Everyone's having a wonderful time, and somebody tells a joke. Suddenly, the whole room just fills with this warm, inclusive laughter. People are smiling, nodding in agreement, clearly having caught the underlying humor. And there you are, smiling along, but you're just gently puzzled. You know something happened, you can see that everyone else received the message, but somehow the punchline has just sailed right over your head. You aren't embarrassed or humiliated at all, just mildly confused and super curious about what you're missing.
But here's what's really great about this scenario. You aren't left out in the cold. A kind, welcoming friend notices your polite confusion. They lean in close, and with so much patience and warmth, they quietly explain the punchline to you. They gently decode that context that you were missing. And boom, the light goes on. You see the connection, you finally understand the meaning, and you just burst into laughter right along with them. It's this beautiful aha moment. And this isn't laughter of ridicule, it's the pure joy of shared recognition. You're now in on the secret. Well, that is exactly how a lot of people feel when they hear the word spiritual. Some people seemingly get it and they're experiencing that shared joy, while others are simply waiting for a kind friend to explain the punchline.
Moving on to Section 2, the Spiritual Detective's Language.
So, if we want to be the friend who gets the joke, we first got to understand the vocabulary of the case. Those who have already had that light bulb moment often start using a very specific set of words. You'll hear them talk about spiritual awakening, inner peace, divine guidance, higher consciousness, the soul, synchronicity, or being in the now. To someone who hasn't experienced the punchline yet, this absolute avalanche of theological and philosophical jargon sounds nice, sure, but it leaves them thinking, what on earth are they actually talking about? A good spiritual detective needs to get comfortable with all forms of this language, not just local terms, but global, religious, and philosophical concepts too.
But why do we use all these words? Well, beneath all of that complicated vocabulary, we're all just detectives, driven by this completely insatiable curiosity. We're trying to understand our purpose, the human condition, the universe itself. We are all ultimately asking the exact same massive question. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why am I here? The jargon is really just humanity's best attempt to put words to that profound mystery.
All right, Section 3, Everyday Moments of Spirit.
Let's step away from the abstract words for a second and look at the concrete clues found in our actual, everyday lives. Think about a time you witnessed a truly beautiful, just awe-inspiring sunset. I'm talking about the kind that literally stops you in your tracks. In that moment, it touches you in a very deep place. You suddenly feel uplifted, inspired, and strangely enough, you feel less alone in the world. It's a feeling that has moved humanity since time immemorial.
Or, sometimes the clue comes during our darkest hours. A lot of people report experiencing this sudden, inexplicable stillness and comfort right in the middle of a time of intense grief, perhaps at the passing of someone they loved deeply. It brings a profound sense of peace and certainty exactly when it's needed most.
Another undeniable clue? The unforgettable, truly magical moment of a child's birth. Anyone who has witnessed a new life coming into the world knows for a fact that it is a moment remembered for an entire lifetime. It's pure magic that completely shifts your entire perspective on reality.
It can even be found in a profound moment of forgiveness. When you finally, truly let go of a heavy, heavy weight you've been dragging around for years, the relief is so immense that it feels like a beautiful signal, a hint that life is just much more meaningful than it appears on the surface.
So when these moments happen, we almost always look back and wonder, wait, what exactly was that? Was it just raw emotion? Just my imagination running wild? Was it God or the goddess or just a sudden rush of brain chemistry? But if we're being honest with ourselves as detectives, in our hearts we kind of know. We recognize that what came upon us in that exact moment was a still, silent whisper from a much, much deeper place within our own being.
Which brings us to Section 4, More Than It Appears. We are not merely bodies moving through a cold material universe, just consuming groceries, paying bills, and watching the weather report on repeat. I mean, yes, while all those things absolutely happen, we are simultaneously invited into a spiritual adventure that looks just beyond the visible world. Now, don't get me wrong, the material world is very real. I've personally spent 20 minutes frantically searching for my glasses while they were sitting right on top of my head. We've all been there. The everyday world definitely matters. But we begin the true adventure when we start to suspect that this mundane reality just isn't the whole picture.
Come and see. Because once that punchline finally lands for you and the light suddenly goes on, all that confusion just fades away. You realize there is just so much more to explore. It's an open door, really. An invitation to simply come and see for yourself.
And the best part is, you aren't alone in this realization. Both ancient wisdom teachers and brilliant modern minds like Albert Einstein and Dr. Carl Sagan, they knew this. Even quantum science points to incredible meanings, dimensions, and levels of reality sitting right there, just behind the things we can physically see and touch. It's fascinating.
Today, more and more of us are starting to realize this for ourselves. We're taking these beautiful, ancient questions and we're transforming them into a modern spiritual quest for our very own souls. We are essentially walking into this light together.
This leads us to the absolute core revelation of our investigation today, what's truly going on behind the scenes. The most crucial thing to grasp is that this journey doesn't begin with some complex philosopher's argument, or a preacher's sermon, or a strict demand that you blindly believe 12 impossible things before breakfast. Not at all. It simply begins with an open, inquiring mind and a simple question.
And here is the definition we've been building toward this whole time. At its very heart, being spiritual is simply the human response to the possibility that life is more than it first appears. It's the realization that we aren't merely physical bodies just moving automatically through a cold material universe. It is a deeply empowering, incredibly concrete realization that there's way more to the story.
Now, let's be totally clear here. The material universe is very real. We still gotta buy groceries, pay the bills, watch the weather report, and, try to remember where on earth we put our glasses. And yes, sometimes we are searching frantically for those glasses while they are sitting right on top of our heads. We've all been there. But the true spiritual adventure begins when we start to suspect that this visible everyday world of bills and lost glasses might not be the whole reality of the universe. There are hidden meanings in an entirely unseen reality just waiting to be discovered.
And finally, Section 5, the modern spirit quest. So, where does this all leave us today? Well, what's truly fascinating is that modern science is literally backing up this intuition. New quantum science is telling us that behind the physical stuff we can touch and see, there are hidden dimensions and incredible levels of reality. These are levels that we currently don't fully understand and perhaps can't even perceive with the everyday consciousness we usually rely on. Science itself is suggesting that the universe is far, far more mysterious than it appears.
And this creates just the most amazing bridge across time. Because this isn't just some new scientific fad, it's a truth that ancient wisdom teachers have known and taught for centuries. It's a reality that brilliant modern minds like Albert Einstein and Dr. Carl Sagan also suspected and pointed toward. Think about that. The ancients and the quantum physicists are looking at the exact same beautiful mystery.
More and more of us are starting to realize this for ourselves. We're seeking answers to these ancient questions, turning them into a modern spirit quest for our very own souls. And that is exactly where our investigation begins. The clues are literally all around you, in the sunsets, in the laughter, in those quiet moments of connection. The door is wide open, so I have to ask, will you come and see? I promise you, if you just keep your eyes open, you will be amazed by what you find. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer and keep investigating.